is my full makeup look using the winners of every category. And here we are with another educational beauty video. And today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to create this look using the winners from every makeup category. Now, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And I'm over on Instagram, so please do come say hi there too. Now we can jump straight into the video. Now, I know I haven't mentioned exactly what this look is going to look like, but I'm kind of like going to go along with the flow and just see what happens and see what look we create. I'm kind of like envisioning a very clean and flawless kind of finish. I'm going to start with my top concealer, which is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, because I can always rely on it. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and do my eyelids. Now, I've already put my skincare on. I didn't really want to focus on skincare today because this is all about the best of every category. Just gonna buff this in. Now I really just make sure that I cover my entire eyelid, and that means you basically go over the whole eyelid all the way up to the brow area, but even on the inner sections here of the sides of the nose, because otherwise you're just left with this gap. So I'm gonna set this with a bit of powder. I'm using a powder puff and my favorite setting powder, which is my Ben Nye Luxury Powder. Now, by firstly pressing it in with a puff and then dusting it off with a nice soft brush like this Real Technique setting brush, which by the way is absolutely amazing, and you need to have this, because if you don't have this brush, I don't get how you're getting the kind of finish that you would want to get, because this has to be one of my kind of must-have brushes when it comes to, it's just a perfect size for the eye area, for the lid, for the under eye area, and it's so soft and it's very reliable and it lasts for ages. Like I actually have about 3 of these, and I've had them for so long, like I still haven't managed to go on to my next brush. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just apply my concealer to my under eye area. I want a really nice flawless finish, like I mentioned, so I am kind of like gonna go a little bit kind of full on with my base because I really want that super flawless finish. Okay, just getting my sponge and like buffing this in. So I'm just kind of like pressing and lifting really fast and just taking it upwards here so it gives me a really nice kind of lift. I'm just going to apply a little bit of this concealer just in certain areas, and I'll explain in a second why. And I've actually applied just like dots. So I've applied them in those areas because that's where I really want to lift, but I'm going to use a brush to kind of drag it in the direction that I want it to lift. So I'm getting my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood complexion brush, kind of like buffing it in. Now this bit here, I really want it to kind of like go up. I haven't applied a lot of concealer there because it is quite a thick concealer. So just a small amount on those areas. Moving on, I'm gonna actually sculpt my face now, but I'm using another concealer. So I'm using, this was a kind of like, it was in my best categories, but this is a slightly darker shade because as you guys probably already know, I use concealers to sculpt my face. Now I'm gonna use a darker shade and I'm just gonna like apply a little, kind of a few dashes in a few areas, and you'll see what I mean. It spreads really, really well and it's so easy to blend. That's why you need a very small amount. These strategic areas are really going to help to like lift and sculpt my face. I'm going to get my extra Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood complexion brush because I have 2 of them, one for light colors, one for dark colors. So now what I'm going to do is like basically brush this into the hairline, and you'll see that eventually what it will look like is you'll get the darkness in all the areas that I've applied it, but it's very kind of like carefully blended, like kind of outwards more than inwards, because we want to really kind of sculpt the perimeter of the face. So I'm just going to like take this into the hairline, because you really don't want to end up with like darkness here, then a gap where you can see your actual skin color, and then your hairline. It should go into the hairline. This should really go down into the neck area because you need it to look like a shadow basically. And then I've just flipped the brush over so that I can use the smaller part to really just kind of like blend this nose sculpting. There you go. So you can see that you can see all the sculpting, but it doesn't look like it's harsh in the sense that you can't see the edges now. Okay, so now for my foundation, which is the Dior Forever Matte. It's the ultimate foundation. It's the foundation I can always rely on. If I know that my skin's not feeling great, or if I really want to make sure my foundation lasts all day, then this is what I go for. All I'm doing is literally just pressing this on everywhere on top. And I don't want to kind of like glide the sponge around because it's just going to kind of like move around all that really nice sculpting that I've done underneath with my concealer. So that's why everything needs to be kind of like buffed in. Now what we want to do is set it. So I'm going to get my powder that I absolutely love, my setting powder, which is Ben Nye Luxury Powder. I've put some in the palm of my hand here, and I'm just going to grab my powder puff. Basically, I've like squeezed it up, and then I'm just rolling it like that. So it really kind of gets that powder on, and then I just kind of like tapping it. Kind of, you can tap it, or you can just kind of like, you know, like that, whatever that is. And that will get rid of the excess. And okay, I'm going to go right under my, like on my under eye. And then I like to just kind of like go up here. So I'm kind of like recreating that shape that I kind of created with my concealer, my sculpting. And then I go over whatever other areas that I want to go over, which normally is everywhere. I'm going to get my Hourglass Veil brush, the large side. And I'm just dipping into whatever's on the back of or in my palm of my hand. Now I get my Real Techniques setting brush because it's perfect for my under eye area, and I just basically dust this all away. Now we're going to prep the brows. So the way that I prep my brows is I like to fix them in place first so that I can then go back in later on and then fill them in, like shape them, color them, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Fluff and Hold. This is honestly the most ultimate brow fixer ever. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of like brush my brows up and just let that kind of set, and I'll start on my eyes and then I can go back to my brows after. So while that's drying, I'm actually going to do my kind of bronzing rather than go do my eyes first. So I'm going to use my Sunstalker bronzer from Fenty in Shady Biz. This is my 200 brush from Fenty, and I'm just going to kind of go over where I sculpted my nose. And honestly, if I hadn't have sculpted before, I would have to do a lot more than what I'm about to do. Now I'm using the shade Private Island and my Hourglass Veil brush, and I'm just basically going right on the top of my ear, like from that positioning, and then just kind of like bringing it down in towards my nostrils and the corner of my lip, but not all the way kind of in. But that's the direction I'm going towards. And then I just take a little bit kind of like into the hairline, just up here, because it just slims down my face. And also just kind of like warms up the perimeter. And then I go down under the jawline a bit here. So my brows are still setting a little bit, so I'm going to move on to my eyeshadow using the eyeshadow palette that won the best eyeshadow palette in the eyeshadow category. So I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes, and I'm using Matte 2 with a Zoeva brush, which is my 228 brush. Honestly, you don't have to be so perfect with this. It really is a case of just kind of like going over the whole lid with this kind of look, which I've now decided what I'm doing. So we're going to do a really nice clean lid and sharp eyeliner. There you go. It just kind of like evens out the whole lid. I mean, the concealer underneath really does help, to be honest. Like if I didn't have that and my eye was like so, like my real skin color was coming through, which is pretty dark around the eye area, it wouldn't look the same. And I really do like kind of like taking this along this area here, like on the inner part, because I feel like it just opens it up. So we're going to do the same on this side. By the way, the lenses that I'm wearing today, I have a discount code for you. It's Nina 10. They are Aquarella. I think that's what it's called, Aquarella. These are Tupis Brown, and the code is in my description, and the link is in my description as well from where I get them from. Let's use the winner of the brow color, which is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in number 4. Okay, as you can see, my brows are like really nicely brushed up, and I'm just gonna fill in this kind of under part section here because I really want to kind of not have them so round, and I'm just drawing hair strokes up. And now it's eyeliner. So we're going to move on to my Benefit They're Real Extreme Precision Liner, because this did win for that category, for the eyeliner category. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and just do a very thin line first, and then I'm going to apply my lashes and then finish off the liner, because I find that that way round I can really get like the perfect liner look. Because I don't know if you've ever noticed, you do your eyeliner, you think it looks great, and then you put your lashes on and it looks completely different. So it's always best to kind of like do that thin line so that there's no gap between your lashes and your actual real lashes, or it doesn't look like there's a gap, and then you finish off the liner look, or do kind of like a rough liner look which is a bit thinner than what you want it to end up. Put your lashes on and then you can kind of like perfect it. So I'm starting from just from the inner corner and just gonna like do a basic line really close. I'm not going to do a flick yet, I'm just like doing a really thin line. I'm just going to apply some mascara. I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury push-up lashes because I am really loving this at the moment. Although I am putting mascara on, lashes on, I really do want to have some mascara on so that this front section is nicely kind of blending into my lashes, because I cut my lashes to make sure that it doesn't cover my entire lash line. So I've put my glue on my lashes, which are my Nina Ubhi lashes in Amelia, and I'm just waiting for that to dry. So while that's drying, I was going to say I'm going to do something, but actually I'm just eating M&Ms. So yeah. I think I've more or less finished them. I've got like 2 left. Now when I apply my lashes, I like to kind of like lift it at the end a little bit so that it kind of gives me that really nice lifted look. And I really do prefer kind of doing my wing at the end. Not at the end, but once I put my lashes on. Now that I have my lashes on, this is where I now want to do my wing. So what I do is I get my mirror, so I'm going to get a handheld mirror, and I'm literally just going to like look straight ahead into the mirror and then draw a line. So you've got to make sure your head isn't like tilted, like you're not looking down into a mirror, you're not looking up, you're not looking like you're not pushing, you know, you're not tilting your head or moving your head around. You've got to keep it quite straight. Look straight into the mirror and you turn your head a little bit to the side so you can get to the point that you want to get to. I'm going to draw from the point that I want that kind of lift. So I've drawn a little wing there. Now I haven't drawn it as far out as I would like it to go, but it's enough for me to be able to connect it. So I'm going to go right from like, not halfway, because I don't like it quite thick from the middle. I like it to turn a bit thicker, like go slightly thicker, about 3/4 of the way out, and then it starts to go thicker into the wing. So that's where I'm going to kind of like pull it from. Keep looking like straight ahead, don't tilt your head. Because if you have a slight crease there, like I have very slightly hooded eyes, then what happens is you end up kind of like, how can I put it, like going, when you look down, especially when you have slightly hooded eyes or very hooded eyes, it looks very different to when you look straight ahead. At least when you look straight ahead, then you know what your eyeliner is going to look like when someone's looking at you. So you're almost kind of like going over whatever crease there may be there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like drag this out with the tip of my brush, just a little bit. And then I'm going to grab my nail and then drag it so that it fades out. There, I'm pretty happy with that because I feel like I've got that lift, it's faded out so it doesn't look too kind of chunky at the end. I'm going to go ahead and do the same on this side. So I'm just like looking at that side so I know what direction I've got to go. I'm going to draw that little wing. Now I have it's slightly more hooded on this side, so I have more of a crease there, which I need to really kind of like go over. And I'm doing it bit by bit so that I don't make a mistake. There, I think I've kind of got the direction. Okay, so what I usually do is I kind of like grab my lashes and squeeze them together so that it's not kind of separated from my real lashes. And then I'm going to get a bit more mascara and just apply it to my lower lashes. Because I want a very clean look, so I don't really want much, I don't want any obvious eyeshadow. So I'm using my 234 brush from Zoeva and also the winner of the highlighter category, which is my Tom Ford Illuminating Powder Duo. And just going to apply a little bit to the tip of my nose, down the bridge, And then using my 134 brush, just a little bit on the peaks of my cheekbone. Like honestly, the smallest amount. A little bit of blush, which is the winner from the blush category, which was the Dual Backstage Rosy Glow blush. And this is just like a dual fiber brush. You can use any one. This is the coral shade, by the way. I do like both of them. There's a kind of neon pink and a kind of neon coral. Moving on to the lips, we are starting with my lip pencil, and the winner was the Kevyn Aucoin lip definer. This specific shade is Divine. We're going to finish off with my favourite lip colour, and that is the Rare Beauty Lip Soufflé. And this specific shade is Brave. This is one of my favourite colours. I love this. It's like a really nice kind of like, it looks like a rusty colour when you pull it out, but it actually looks more kind of coral when you put it on. You can keep layering it up to give it more like kind of more of a deeper shade, but initially it's more of a coral shade, I would say. It's just so smoothing and so like not dry. So this is my full makeup look using the winners of every category of makeup. Now, if you haven't watched that video, then you really do need to head over and watch it. It's my previous video and it's the top 3 of every makeup category. I think you're gonna love it because it's quick, snappy, and it takes you straight to the point and it shows you all the top 3s of every category. And if you don't like the winner, maybe you've already used it and it doesn't suit you, you might like one of the other 2 from that category. So head over and watch it, and wherever you are in the world, I hope you have the most blessed, vibrant, energetic, and happy day. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and now you can go create this look for yourself. Don't forget that all the products are listed in my description box below. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.